Hello, beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight was earlier. And I am in here because it's a little too cold, and I'm not complaining to do a video outside like this, you know. And then in the library, the sound would travel through all the other study rooms, and I don't, you know, Starlight is a sweetheart. She doesn't want everybody in the library to hear every single thing, you know. I am that girl that's like, I'm not going to ruin everybody's time. I'd rather just work in my car and make videos. So anyway, so that's why Starlight is in my vehicle. And so like I said, I hope you're able to get out in nature somewhere. Anyway, besides that, is if anybody would like to send any love donations to Starlight, I would really appreciate it, and you can on my Cash App, and that's available here. Ting! And also, I also want to say a big, huge thank you for all the beautiful people that help me when I'm out traveling around. There's times many times Starlight needs help me, Starlight, and God sends me to different places and puts it on people's hearts to help me out one way or another. So if I'm talking to you right now, I appreciate all the love and support that I get, either on my YouTube channel, if I didn't meet you and maybe you just watch my videos, or, you know, or even, you know, subscribe, or give me a thumbs up, or even leave me a comment, or even share. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. I can't do this on my own, and that's a part of this message, is that, you know, we need help. Now, before I start anymore, before I start this video, hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, don't forget, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, plus give me a thumbs up, and you can also leave a message down below, beep, 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 and you can share my videos with your family, your friends. Don't forget to ring the notification bell, and you can check out my playlist. Plus, you can find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So yesterday I made a video about do it yourself. Yes, there's many times, guess what? We have to do it ourselves. We can't count on other people. If we sat around waiting for other people to help us out, it would never happen, you know. But on the flip side of that coin, does Starlight have a coin? So let's see, on the flip side of the coin, we'll just take a quarter out. So on the one side of this coin, you know, it's one coin, just like the way the politics are, you know, Republican and Democrat, you know, it's same. That's why they started a war with all of us, you know, because I knew something was messed up long time ago, but then my mentor kind of helped me to put the pieces together. So I couldn't pick sides, you know. So, you know, because it is kind of a joke, because it is, you know, but just like now, sorry, my ear, it's my left ear. So one side of this coin, just like the way they have the politics, you know, you never can make up your mind what side you want to be on, right? Because it was never supposed to work out, you know. It's like you need the whole coin. And just like right now with this quarter is one side of the coin, there's times you gotta do it by yourself. Like starting on a YouTube channel, I got some help from my mentor, and then I got some help, you know, like on YouTube, you know, and there's, you know, so but really I did it on my own. I had to do everything. I had to learn how to start a YouTube channel, how to do this, how to do that. So that, you know, I did have help from the universe and the archangels, especially lately, you know. So with this coin is that the one side is do it yourself. You know, there's times that, like I said yesterday, if, you know, there's people that I don't want to be that one person that says, yeah, you know, really, it's like I don't have the time to help you out because I have enough on my own plate, and there's no space to, that's not a part of what the universe is having me to do, is to help other people, like, say, for instance, make a YouTube video, or how to, start their own YouTube channel. Now, if somebody needed help as far as, like, guidance, somebody to talk to, somebody to, like, that would listen, like a, like a life coach, yes, now I could stop what I'm doing, because that's what God is having me to do, is help people out when I meet them and give them wisdom and knowledge and help them out with the stuff that they're going through. And I've done this many times on this journey. I am like an on-call, I'm not a nurse, but an on-call person that goes wherever God sends me and helps people out on this journey. I don't care who you are. I do care who you are, but I will help anybody. I don't care if you're a homeless person. I do care that you're a homeless person, but I will talk to many homeless. I have talked to many homeless people. If you're rich, I will talk to you. Just because somebody's rich and loaded with money, it doesn't mean that they don't need help. Now, the other side, this coin is, there's times that we need to reach out to people, like I did when I met my mentor on YouTube. He's my mentor. There's a time before that. It was not very long before I met my mentor on YouTube. Not that I met my mentor in person, but only online. Hang on, it's getting a little cool, man. Is that I had a therapist. Because why? Because Starlight needed help. So the one side of the coin is do it yourself. There's times that you got to, if you're going to start a YouTube channel, there's times it's really important that you learn how to do those skills. That way, guess what? You could do it on your own. And you know what? Yes, it's going to take time. But you know what? You're going to feel good about yourself, because after a while, you're going to get it and you're going to understand it. And it does take time, just like your cell phone, right? You know what that was like, learning how to use a cell phone? I know, I was screaming. That was a different version of myself, believe me. I cursed my phone out, and the companies, for these phone companies and the phones, because it was something I never was interested in. Same with the computer. You learn how to use a computer, right? Anybody that is doing anything online, they had to start off, from square one, and learn how to do that. And if you do that on your own, you learn how to do it on your own, you'll feel so good about yourself later on. Because right now things are getting, I'm feeling it out more. I'm learning, I'm doing things quicker, I'm learning shortcuts, and doing different things on the computer, things that would take me longer, and adding things, and it's so much fun, and I love doing what I'm doing. So whoopsie. So anyway, so the one side of the flip coin, the side of the coin is to do it yourself. There's times that you got to do it yourself, and you'll feel better later on. Not right away. You'll get through the frustration, but later on you'll prove to yourself that I can do anything I put my mind to. Whether you want to learn or not. Starlight didn't want to learn any of this stuff, but the universe, guided me to do all what I'm doing. So I didn't want to, I thought about doing a YouTube channel, but it would have been like teaching you how to clean in art projects. Starlight would have been doing arts and crafts, how to clean this. I know how to clean so many things. I was going to make videos, and I did actually start 2 YouTube channels doing that. And the other one would have been cooking. Starlight would have been, hey, I want to cook, make recipes online. But it ended up being to help people to become be the change that they want to see in the world. So there's times that you got to do it on your own. There's things out there that you got to do on your own. And the reason I'm making this video is because I don't want you to think that everything you got to do on your own. No, there's times we need help. Like when I was going through depression, and so the other coin is about, yes, there's times that we need to ask for help. Like when you're lost and you don't know what to do, you're depressed, you're going through stuff with your children, you need help. These are times when you need help. Maybe you're not doing so good. Maybe you're wanting to end your life. That's where Starlight was a long time ago. You're gonna need to reach out to, get some help, get some therapy. So you find some videos like I did, and that's how I found my mentor is Infinite Waters Ralph Smart. He's a psychologist, and wow, you know what? I'm not the same version of myself when I met him. Absolutely not. So it's amazing, that we all need each other. And a part of this message is that we are all a piece of the puzzle, and we need each other. We all need each other. And I just recently talked to a lady not too long ago. I can't remember if she helped me out or I helped her out, and I said, see, I think that's what it was. She wanted to help me out, but she couldn't help me out. And even though she couldn't help me out, I still was helping her out with some wisdom, giving her some wisdom. And she's like, yeah, wow, thank you. Even though she couldn't help me out like she wanted to, I was willing to still stay there and give her some wisdom and knowledge, and give her some, words of wisdom to help her on her journey in life. So the two-sided coin, we need both sides of this coin. Just like you can't really, you might be a Democratic or a Republican, but, do you really agree 100% on either side of that, So there's some things like, before I didn't agree to everything on the Republican. I didn't agree with everything on the Democrat. I was like, yeah, let me have both. Let me have the full coin. So it is kind of a joke what they do to people. They do this to start that war within ourselves, towards each other, and I'm right. No, you're right. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. No, you're wrong. I'm right. No, I'm right. You're wrong. And that's what they do. They do all these little games out here, and it's really sad that people fall for it. They fall for all these games. So you need both sides of the coin. There's times that you need to do it yourself, and there's other times that you need to ask for help. You need to know when you need help, when you're lost and confused, and you're like the guinea pig going around in circles, and you're like, help. I'm not getting anywhere, and I'm so frustrated, and all the energy that gets used up by going around in a circle, don't you get tired of doing that? And but when it comes to asking for help, you gotta make sure. I'm gonna put this quarter away. I don't want to drop it and lose it. Starlight's gonna definitely need that quarter another time, so you don't want to lose out. You want to make sure you know where to get that kind of help. I told my daughter a long time ago, I was almost going to say her name, but I'm like, you know what? You don't have to have all the answers. Know why? Like a lot of people, they want to know everything, and then they find out they don't really know nothing, because it starts all over again. When you think you know it all, the universe will show you something that you didn't know, and it will just, just like bowling, boom, there goes all those pins, So, and what I told my daughter is that, you don't need to know everything. You just need to know where to find it, that question, where are you going to find that answer? That's the thing. The answers are out there. They're normally within. When we do the inner work, God will reveal those answers that you're searching for. So you could read a lot of books out there, but you got to be just like that. You got to be careful. And there's people that they go to churches, but you know what? Again, you got to be careful of where you're getting that information. You could get deceived easily, and it's happened to me many times in different situations where I've gone in my life, in the church. It started first thing when I went to church, telling me that I was going to burn and go to hell and in the lake of fire. They didn't tell me that Jesus already died on the cross and paid for, that debt. They didn't tell me that when I was, I was at a funeral, when a close friend of mine long time ago, he had a family, had some kids, had a wife, they didn't tell me that Jesus already paid for the price. No, they were telling me, you're gonna go to hell if you don't get right with God. So, and the peace is never made any, it's kind of funny. I was like a big sponge, absorbing everything that the church people were telling me, the pastor and, the Christians and all this. I was like, what is that? The SpongeBob, I was like this big sponge, just absorbing everything, just believing that, hey, these are Christians. These people don't lie. These are honest people. What did Starlight know, right? Don't we all start off like in church like that, thinking these people got it made? You know, these are the ones that know they're honest people. No, boy, I'll tell you what, was I ever deceived on, you know, with my own thoughts. So it's not about knowing everything. It's knowing where to get those, you know, those answers to the questions that you have, because you could go to a church and get deceived and lied to. You know, they could lie to you, and you know, you'll think that they all got a halo above their head, but there could be little horns that you missed, you know, that are telling you the wrong answers just to keep you there at the church. So you got to be careful with that. Even the politics, you know, where are you getting the answers from? You know, are you researching what, you know, just like people, I've seen it over and over again with people go to church. I was studying my Bible. I had notebooks and notebooks and notebooks. I had this big ass concordance that was in, you know, like the oldest, you know, the Webster's, I believe, a concordance that I got lucky. I found like a treasure box somewhere out in the woods somewhere. I was like, wow, look at all this goodies in this empty trailer. So Starlight found a lot of interesting books in this empty trailer way out in the middle of the woods somewhere. The doors were wide open. Nobody was living there. There's a whole bunch of treasures in that place. So Starlight went, you know, treasure shopping. I was really young, and grabbed all these things. And I used to have, you know, I gave a lot of these books to my brother. He loved them. He chewed them right up. He was like, yes, I love these books. So so there's times that you got to look out, you know, for those answers. But a lot of times all the answers are within you, you know, and there's a lot of books out there, but you got to be careful. It could trip you up. You could get lost out there, lost in the sauce, you know, like, and that's why Starlight's kind of cautious after, you know, being deceived at the church and different places in high school, you know, and I never went to high school, but in school, with the history of all the lies that they told us, you know, and the things that were not true, or the things that they take out. And, you know, you got to really, and, you know, watch out for that stuff. There's times that we do need help and we need to reach out, but you want to make sure you're going out and going to the right resources to get the right help that you need. So anyway, I love you all, and we all need each other. We are all a piece to the whole puzzle. No matter what skin color you are, you know, that's just a shell. Understand that. I do want to say something, but I'm going to bite my tongue because sometimes I say things and then I get lost in the sauce and then forget all about that. But there's something I do want to work on, but, you know, to kind of make more sense of a lot of things that I say on my YouTube channel. But we all need each other. It's times like, you know, come together, you know, like a puzzle. You know, we all have a piece of the puzzle, and that's why, you know, they try to divide us and separate us, because they know we are together stronger, you know, because we all need each other. And just like the other day, I was, you know, this lady and I, we were helping each other, and that's what it's about. It's, you know, putting our differences aside and our beliefs. There's times we've been, you know, there's people, they're so stuck on what they believe. Well, what if that belief system that you have is false information that is, you know, that you think is real? So I love you so much. This is Starlight. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, give me a thumbs up, and you can leave me a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. Plus, you could share my videos with your family or friends, and don't forget the notification bell, and check out my playlist. And you can also find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. Thank you for watching. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.